What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Got a couple of new items for you, some good and some unfortunately not so good. Let's get right into it. Real quick, before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to the two gentlemen that I met at Greenberg's this past weekend in Edison, New Jersey. First guy is Ben Wayne from Ben's Trains. If you don't follow him, you definitely need to start following him. He's always got something new going on. And also Jim Gamble, or Jim Gam the Train Man. He even gave me a little sticker. He's part of the New Jersey High Railers Club that was formerly in Paterson, New Jersey. They're in the process of moving that to a different location, so definitely follow him. He's got plenty of content coming out with that. Let's get started. Here we have an MTH Rail King RS1, painted in the East Penn Railroad paint scheme. It's got Proto Sound 3. There's the item number here. These are a little bit hard to find. I've actually been trying to track one of these down for a couple of months, and I just came across one of these on eBay the other day. Now, I know what you're thinking. In one of my other videos, I did say I typically don't buy Rail King stuff anymore. I'm trying to get into the more scale locomotives. Well, aside from this box, this is every bit of a premier locomotive. And the problem is, my layout has very, very tight curves. So unfortunately, if you want to get into the more scale stuff, there's not much out there that could handle 031 curves. Just look at how beautifully detailed this thing is. If I took this engine and stuck it in a Premier box, you would absolutely think that it's a Premier locomotive. Very, very nicely done. Metal handrails, painted valves on the fuel tank, operating smoke unit, separately applied brake wheels, coupler cut levers, painted crew figures. Very nice molded in detail on the doors, radiator. Just everything about this. I can't believe that this is actually marketed as a Rail King locomotive. Let's go throw this on the track and see what she does. Okay, let's start it up. I'm going to do the extended startup sequence, and we're going to go through some of the sounds and features that it has.
Is she ready to go? Check that oil level. Oil level looks good. Thanks, bud. Okay, ready to pull out.
Horn. Bell. Some passenger freight announcements.
All right, let's see what these orders have in store for us today.
have the always fun train wreck sound. One thing that I do want to point out with, if you do have this engine, this is a very bizarre smoke unit that this thing has. So I unfortunately had to take it apart because the smoke output was not really that great. I mean, I got to refill it, but the smoke unit's back here and the stack is up here. So what they did was there's actually a little piece of plastic. So the smoke comes out, hits that plastic, and then funnels its way out through the stack. It's kind of a very strange setup. I'm not too fond of it because this thing does get hot, so we'll see over time. Hopefully it doesn't start to deteriorate the plastic or mess up the paint. Next items on the list are these really cool row houses I picked up at Greenberg's on Saturday. Really nicely detailed. I don't know who makes these model kits. I don't believe I've ever even seen these before, but kind of reminds me of when I was growing up. My great-grandmother lived on East Jersey Street in Elizabeth, so these houses are very familiar to me. And it also kind of reminds me of the end credits to All in the Family. Remember that show?
All in the Family was recorded on tape before a live audience.
And the same table that had the row houses also had these little garages. Nice little added touch to the neighborhood. Kind of wish that there was a third one, but unfortunately it's a little tight over here. I can't fit a third garage there. And I also got this 1958 Pontiac Bonneville. For those of you that don't know, I'm actually a huge Pontiac guy, so definitely got to throw some more of that on the layout. And I also scored these really nice aluminum Pennsylvania passenger cars from Williams. Can't complain on the price. I only got these for 50 bucks. They're brand new. They've never even seen a track yet. I'm not going to put them on the layout just yet because I do really want to acquire the additional cars for this. I got these for my GG1. It does look good pulling a set of Madisons, but these are definitely the cars that are really going to make that engine pop. And I also found one of the missing cars from my grandfather's set. This is the Railway Post Office car. And then I just got to find the city of Chicago and the city of Milwaukee, and that set will be complete. A while back, I acquired this Corgi public service bus. There was two versions of this. One is the red and yellow, and the other one was silver. Well, I finally found the silver one. Definitely have to put some of this on the layout. My grandfather and father both worked for PSE&G back in the day, so any PSE&G items that I find in O-scale, I definitely have to have those. Now let's get into some of the unfortunately not so good things that I picked up at the show. First up, we got this old school MTH Premier Caboose. Everything is good on it, body-wise. It's not missing anything, but this thing must have derailed so bad at one point that all of the wires inside were completely melted. I even had to scrape them off of the body and scrape them off of the metal. That's how charred they were. And one of the bulbs was missing, so I went ahead and converted this to LED, rewired everything, but it cleans up pretty good. And last we have what I thought was going to be a diamond in the rough, but unfortunately, at the show, it looked pretty good. When I got it home and got it out of the box, this thing was just absolutely covered in dirt, pet hair, grease, anything you could think of. This thing was an absolute mess. Now, at the show, I did notice that the bell was missing, and it was missing the steps on the side here. Not a huge deal. I already did locate those on eBay. However, this thing does not receive commands. It programmed into the remote perfectly fine, but it loses signal so fast that I can't get it to do anything. When it reaches a certain part of the layout, it won't receive anything. Doesn't switch direction, no whistle, no bell. Let's see if we could get anything out of it. Nothing. Well, there we go. After about 6 times of me pushing the button, finally did something. I did take this apart. The wiring inside is questionable. When I got it home, I noticed that there was a ground strap that was broken on the trailing truck, so I fixed that and no change. This does have a wireless tether. Now, the angle on that's not the greatest, so I could probably bend that up. But all the radio stuff is in the engine itself. The tender only has the rail sounds board. Let's see if it'll do anything. Whistle. Nothing. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Will it move? Yeah, again, I'm at speed step 15, and it's just barely moving. And then when I hit direction, doesn't switch direction. None of my other locomotives give me this problem. Just this one. So, unfortunately, I'm leaning towards a bad radio board. Hopefully that's not the case, because that's a real shame. This is a beautiful engine. Okay, so now with the body off, you can see what I'm talking about. This thing was definitely messed with at some point because the antenna wires are held together with duct tape. There is no way that that was from the factory. And if it was, I don't know. But look right in here at this wire. It looks like it's attached, but it's not. The insulation is holding onto the wire, not the actual wire itself. So I'm wondering if that is our problem all along. And like I said, this was tied together with wire nuts. I'm going to use it for now and see if maybe that's the problem. If not, I'm going to solder this. Well, after soldering those wires and making those adjustments to the engine, somehow it actually made the engine run worse. I don't even know how that's possible, but I'm leaning towards a bad R2LC board. Unfortunately, they've been long out of production. You can't find them anymore, and the ones that you do find on eBay, I don't think it's really worth the gamble on that. They're not exactly known for being reliable. So, possibly a new Blue Nami upgrade coming in the near future. Well, that's going to be it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the game when it comes to buying stuff at shows. You never really know what you're going to take home. One quick announcement, though. I'm actually getting married at the end of this month, so there's going to be no more train content for the rest of this month. It's going to be all hands on deck, but we will be back soon. So like always, like, subscribe, catch you next time.